So it's so lovely to see you, Bhumi, although virtually. And I've been tracking your career since we last
Yes,
met a few years ago. And
yes.
it's so wonderful to see you going from strength to strength. And I just love the way you choose your roles because there's always something to them. It's not just about, a pretty face or a couple of songs, which we unfortunately have got used to, in a sense, the female role. But the way you choose your roles is quite remarkable in that you're always, I think, looking for a message. And I actually feel quite proud of you. I don't know why,
Thank you.
but and I love the way you speak up. You don't chatter too much, but you speak up when it matters. So very well done, and really.
Thank you so much. Thank
Uh,
you so
and
much.
so, Bhumi, it's interesting that you've chosen a horror film, Durgamati, right?
Yes.
But again, there's more than just the obvious horror story to it. There is something else to it. Talk a little about why you chose this genre.
I think horror was probably the only genre that I'd not really dipped my hands in, and it's something that I was looking at doing as well because it's not something that's really been well explored in India. I was also looking at doing a thriller, and I had many scripts that came my way, but that was just nothing was exciting me, because ma'am, I'm always about pushing myself, about challenging myself, about finding a new facet of my personality through the roles that I do, and I always try to give my audience something new, like a newer version of me.
Hmm.
I remember this is a fun fact. I remember watching Bhagmati, the original,
Right.
when I didn't know that Durgamati was being made. I watched it because it was on one of the channels, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And I remember watching it, and I was like, this role is a role of a lifetime for any female actor because you rarely see parts written for women that have the kind of scale and the kind of canvas and the kind of opportunity to perform that this film gives. And I was like, oh, it'll be fun. Maybe someday I'll do the remake. And a couple of months later, this film came my way, and I was supremely excited because um, I've not done something like this. I've not really seen myself do something like this. It was a very, very complicated and a very complex performance to give. Doing a film that's so heavy on visual effects and audio visual effects is very, very challenging because you have to try and be as real and as honest, but at the same time you're reacting to stimulants and you're giving a reaction to things that you can't really hear or see, and you have no idea how on earth is it going to shape up,
Right.
how is it going to come together. But then it's a conviction that really helps you go ahead. It's your conviction on the script, on your director, on the material, on the technicians that kind of gives you the clarity to understand that okay, whatever is happening is correct, and that's precisely why I did Durgamati, because it's that one rare film. Usually you'll always see male actors
Hmm.
perform roles like this,
Yeah.
something that's larger than life, and you have like these huge fans directed towards you, and you're doing that walk, and everything is in slow motion, and there are low angle shots. And I was like, okay, I just, when I signed this film, I was like, I was very excited about it, and I was like, wow, it gives me a great opportunity to give a great performance. And I was like, how am I going to do it? I
Hmm.
was like, this is way too much for me. But then I think that's the beauty about the work that we do. Once you are on that set, once you're wearing that costume, once you're on that location, things just happen. And it was a very beautiful experience for me. There were days that I was so tired that I would have like my security carry me back to my hotel room because that's the amount of effort. It was so tough because that's the amount of physical and emotional effort that went into the film. And I had to kind of block a lot of I had to block what I had seen of the original because it was again a very strong film, a very strong performance. And I managed to do that, and I've given something that's my version of what I thought this girl needs to do and what this character needs to do.
Bhumi, it's quite wonderful in the way you prepare yourself for each role as well. How was the preparation for this different from, say, what you did for Sonchirya, where you had so much work to do on your diction, on your body language, or even something that I would think, which others would think would be easy, pati patni or wo, and yet you had to play a very different kind of woman, and yet not be a doormat, or not be seen as the bechari, which a little of the original had. So, what is the kind of prep that you do normally for your films? How do you work on your
See,
character?
sorry, I'm just gonna pause you for a second. I think my internet is kind of
Okay.
acting funny. I just want to reconnect. Just give me a moment. I'm
Sure.
extremely sorry.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yes, sorry. You very rightly have observed that I put in a lot of work and a lot of preparation in all my characters. It's usually the diction,
I think you froze there for a minute.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I
No,
don't know what's happening. My internet has suddenly just decided to be very, very tough.
no problem. Let's continue from where we left off. So, what
Yes.
is the kind of work that you normally put in? Your diction, your look, your body language for each film. You obviously put in a lot of work.
Yes, I do. And, my characters are such that I can't really ever not go in with a certain amount of homework done, right? Because they usually, um, um, my roles are very heavy on diction, body language, and it's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. I would be very underconfident on a set if I've not put in certain amount of thought into what I'm doing.
Right.
But if I speak specifically of Durgamati,
Yeah.
it's one of those films where whatever I had prepared just didn't work when I was on set.
Really?
Yeah, because the only thing that I honestly worked on was my character, Chanchal Chauhan, who is an IAS officer and she is serving jail time, is to kind of crack that psyche because, it's a conspiracy thriller. Predominantly, it's a conspiracy thriller.
Right.
And just to kind of think like a person who's capable of killing, I had to make sure that I don't give a lot away through my performance, to my audience because, you're constantly thinking through the film, is she a victim? Is she the culprit? When Durgamati is concerned, there wasn't much that I could do because whatever I rehearsed in my room just didn't work because when you actually are finally in that set, when you're dressed like the character, it's the way you're energized and the energy that comes into your performance is very, very different. So this by far has been a film that I've least prepared for because it wasn't a dialect heavy film.
Right.
I had to work on my stance. I had to work on how would I stand physically. I needed some amount of strength in me, and that's something that I worked on, and that was more specific to my workout because I tried gain some muscle, for the film because I didn't want to look like one scrawny thing going around.
Yeah, it would have looked ridiculous. Also because the sets are so staggering, so you have to match up to it.
Yes.
Also, Bhumi, your acting is more natural, more even toned, whereas this demands a certain loudness. So was that a little discomforting for you?
I mean, it's not something that comes very naturally to me. I will kind of like admit to it. It's not something that I am very easy doing, because, as you rightly said, my approach to my craft is very different.
Hmm.
But it wasn't difficult, because there is a director who has his vision very clear in his head, and he did tell me that this is the tone of the film,
Hmm.
and I was mentally prepared that, okay, this is what I'll have to give. Was I always completely convinced about what I was doing? Not necessarily. Not yeah, no, but I mean, but again, the beauty about cinema is that it's just not your conviction that always works.
Hmm.
It's everybody on that set, from that light boy who's lighting you to that assistant director who's coming and giving your clap to your director. It's
Hmm.
everybody's conviction that makes a film work.
Right. So, Bhumi, you've been working constantly since 2015. I think you've had a release every year.
Yes.
Some years you've had three releases. You've been very busy. So, how was the lockdown for you in terms of putting pause on all your plans?
Uh, the lockdown was definitely difficult at the start of it emotionally, because you every day would be like the numbers were horrible. We were just not used to it. And it just not, I've been working since I was 17,
Hmm.
it's just not my acting career. I have always been a busy, independent girl. I've never really stayed home.
Hmm.
So for me, to be able
You're a
to spend
casting director for 7 years, right?
not seven. Yeah, I think roughly. No, I wasn't just casting for 7 years. I've done every kind of odd job, right? I've been an AD. I've been a runner on sets. I've done everything. I just started working. I just like jumped into it. Then I was like, I'll see wherever life takes me. And
Why were you so keen to start working right away? Why didn't you want to sort of train for something or discover? Your sister's a lawyer, for instance, right?
my sister is a lawyer, and my family's full of like lawyers, doctors,
Ah,
engineers.
your
I'm
father
like the
was a
only one.
politician.
My father was a politician. He was a civil engineer.
Yeah,
My mother has done her journalism. So my family is very heavy on the academics of it all.
right.
Uh, I think I was very keen to start working because I did realize very early on in my life that, I had to start supporting myself because my father was unwell.
Right,
And I did not want to do anything else but act.
right.
And the only way in that I knew into this fraternity was if I started working.
Hmm.
And I was very clear that I'm not going to get like an acting opportunity right away. And I didn't have that kind of support. I did not want to burden my parents with my needs. So
Hmm.
I was like, you know what? You're a bright girl. You will figure it out. Just go get a job, because my parents were ready to kind of ship me off for my further education. I was going to like go study abroad, but I did not want to do that. They were doing their duty. They were trying to do their level best, but I did know that it's a bit of a stretch for them.
Right.
And I did not feel right about it because it's not something that would have been productive for me.
Had you
So I
got
realized,
admission? Had you got
sorry,
admission? Had you got admission? Were you all set to go abroad to
I
study?
had done my A levels. My process was on, and then I decided that I rather go do filmmaking, and I went to film school in Bombay. But I was rather young. I don't think you should go to a film school when you're 16,
Hmm.
because I don't think you have the intellect to grasp what is taught.
Right.
And it's a very beautiful and a very necessary experience. What happened with me was that because I was in class 12, I just finished like my 11th and 12th, my A levels. I don't think I had the maturity to understand. So when I was thrown out of film school is when I got that. I said, I have screwed up. I said, I have lost an opportunity of a lifetime. And I had a student's loan of like many, many lakhs on me.
Right.
And I was like, I have to pay this loan off. And I did not want to burden my parents. And I just decided to start working. And I haven't looked back since then. My first check was like 7,000 rupees. Now I'm confused. I don't remember if it was 7 or 9. I still have that piece of paper with me. But yeah, it's been one hell of a journey, and I'm very proud of the because I've literally done it myself,
Right.
and I'm very proud of where I've reached today.
So, how have you taught yourself? How have you educated yourself? Not just in the craft and art of filmmaking, but also in everything else, in your poise, in
You
your
know,
language, in the way you carry yourself.
One thing that my parents were very clear about is that you have to complete your graduation.
Hmm.
So I did my open schooling from Bombay University, and I feel, and I'm glad I did because that still did keep me like connected to,
Right.
just the basic education that one needs.
Hmm.
But I feel apart from that, just the environment just the kind of family that I'm born into. My mom made sure that we read a lot of Hindi literature. My school, I think, I'm so indebted to the education that we got early on in our childhood because
That's
um,
Arya Vidya Mandir, right?
Arya Vidya
Yeah.
Mandir, yes. So, it's all the books. It's the books that I read, just the kind of conversation that happened at home, every day in the morning, the things that our father spoke to us about. We were always very aware. We were always made to compassion and empathy is something that was really instilled into both my sister and I feel that's why everything that I'm doing, be it Climate Warrior, which is my climate change related initiative, or any of the other work that I do with people, or the films that I choose, or the kind of statements that I'm trying to make through my work, everything comes because of my upbringing.
Right. And how have you worked on your craft? What do you do to keep your craft honed and ready and, waiting to be sort of waiting for the camera?
You know, I think that's why for an actor like me, I really believe in the process of preparing for a film.
Hmm.
I never go into, because that's the only time I get to workshop. I work with different teachers. I work with, different people that help me on my dialect, that conduct workshops. Because once you become a working actor, you don't really have the luxury of time which I had back in the day. Like
That's
before I debuted in Dam Laga Ke Haisha, my years working behind the camera was actually film school for me.
hmm.
Because when I was casting, I was conducting like hundreds of auditions in a day, working with different kind of directors of different calibers. And, I was like just rehearsing with actors, giving cues. So I was exposed to a lot of material. But since I became like a busy actor, I make sure that I at least do like 2 or 3 workshops in a year where I get an opportunity to work with different teachers, and that's something that really keeps me polished because I am underconfident as a performer. I don't think I have it. I know that I need to put in work, and I'm glad to have this insecurity because that really keeps
Yeah.
me on my toes. I haven't become complacent about my work because I've found certain amount of success.
Right.
I am very nervous before every shot that I give, and I'm a perfectionist. I get very I get even anxious when I'm late for a meeting, because I feel like that's so unprofessional because I've worked so hard to get where I am, ma'am. And
Yeah.
I don't want any character trait, any personality trait, any kind of lapse on my side to be the reason why I lose out on this.
Right.
Destiny is a different ballgame.
Right.
That's something that I can't control. But my hard work and my craft and the reason why I am here are the only things that I can control. And I'm trying my level best to be on my A game. And I'm not competing with anyone.
Hmm.
I'm only
No,
competing with
with
myself.
yourself. Yeah, I think that's the best competition, isn't it? Because
Absolutely.
do you feel that there's so much more in you that you can do? Do you feel you've not reached your potential?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't think I'll ever feel that I've reached my potential because I feel that drive and the fire that I have to make it will go. My fire isn't just to give a good performance or to be like at the top of my A game. My fire is also to be an extremely successful person, a person who's remembered for generations and who goes down in history. I really want to make a huge impact on my community, on like humankind. And my strive isn't just to be like the best actor that people have seen. It's also about being, I don't know. I don't want to sound pompous, but I really want.
No, I think it's wonderful because I think for so long, women especially felt very embarrassed to be ambitious and to
Yes,
say that they're ambitious,
yes,
which
yes.
is which is so sad. Why can't women have the same drive or ambition that men do?
And
So that fire in your belly, I think talk a little about where it comes from and how do you keep it going?
I think it comes from the fact that, my parents really kind of put in that ambition in us.
Hmm.
We were never told that, oh, you have to, like, traditionally go get married, or you have a clock ticking that, oh, you're 21 or you're 24, it's time to, like, now go
Yeah.
get settled, have children. I think that's something. And, I'm going to be very, very honest with you. It's that drive to want a not a better life. We had a great life. We were very happy. Everything was great. But just that want to just I don't know, like, I'm not even like ashamed and accepting it. I just wanted a better, successful life because,
Yeah.
we realized very early on in our life, because my father had, I've seen a prolonged sickness that my family has gone through.
And that
We
is
realized.
very debilitating financially and psychologically,
Absolutely,
emotionally.
absolutely. And I was sure that, okay, I have to kind of take my family back to where it was, and it's okay, so what? Usually, you have your parents who kind of work their entire life so that they can give you everything that they've earned and you can carry it forward. And I was happy reverse engineering it. And I think my sister and I have tried very hard, because even she's a very bright girl, she's a lawyer, she's really one of the best in her field, and she's young, and we both have really, really worked very hard because we really want to. And I'm not doing this for my children, I'm doing this for my mother.
Hmm.
I really want to give her all the comfort, all the leisure possible. But inherently, the kind of girls that my sister and I are, it's just not about our family.
Hmm.
I feel like if I'm at a certain position, it is my duty to share it with as many people as possible. And that's what makes me happy. And that's what we've been doing.
Right. No, you're quite a remarkable girl, as I have always felt. But Bhumi, do you feel the environment currently is right? There is a certain amount of toxicity in the atmosphere, and there's a lot of. It's easier to talk about hatred rather than love, which is sad, you
Absolutely.
know. And
Absolutely.
to keep yourself positive and to keep yourself energized in such an environment is quite difficult unless you have some deep spiritual practice or
Yes.
whatever. So,
Yes.
how do you maintain yourself and your positivity?
I have
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, but
The last question.
okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
There's a problem.
She will rejoin, ma'am.
Okay.
Just a second.
It's one of those days. Yeah, you just need to unmute yourself.
I'm so sorry. I was apologizing to you
No, no,
because
I know, no,
I don't know
don't
what's happening. I've just been
don't
echoing.
apologize for technology. No, so we were just talking about that idea of keeping yourself energized and keeping yourself positive during a very, very rough time, a very hard time.
It is difficult, but what I've realized is that the most um, something that really kind of keeps me going is there's nothing that's more humbling and that's more satisfying than just being there for people,
Hmm.
servicing mankind in whatever way. And that's why I feel like, be compassionate.
Hmm.
It's not monetary help, it is help of any kind. So that's something that has really kept me stable.
Hmm.
I think that is my spiritual practice.
Hmm.
Just being able to help people, to be able to give back. That's literally been one of the most rewarding. aspects that I have realized about myself. And I'm so thankful to my profession because the reason I'm able to reach out to these many people is because I'm at a level where I can.
Mm.
So I'm very, very, very thankful to my profession to give me such a chance.
Just the last question. In Durgamati, you're a superhero kind of character. But for me, the real superhero was in Dolly or Kitty, Dolly, Kitty, Kate, or Chamakte Sitare. What a wonderful, wonderful performance it was, and
Thank
what a
you.
charming role. Can you talk a little about the loveliness of that film?
Absolutely. I think the reason I did that film was because I really wanted to say that girl's story. I feel there are so many women that are just coming of age that are, in their early 20s, and they're confused about life because they are living by the set of rules and morals that have been handed down to them by the society and their parents. And, we all reach a point in our life where we either make our own rules or we abide by the ones that we've been given, and that's honestly the make it or break it point of our career, of our life. And I feel it was very important for me to reach out to as many women as possible that are on that brink to understand, to help them understand that it's important to have courage, it's important to be gutsy, it's important to know what is right and wrong for you. It's
Hmm,
important to be selfish at times. It's important to love yourself and not be embarrassed of it.
hmm, hmm.
Because that's what we are constantly taught,
Yeah,
as women, that you
right.
can't be ambitious, you
Yeah,
can't love yourself. Your life is meant for others.
yeah,
It's okay to be flawed. It is okay to want love and money and career and success, because I've had that journey, right? And I feel like Kitty is a character that I completely resonated with because my journey was so similar.
hmm,
And even though our worlds were different, but our journeys were similar. And and that's why I decided to do that part. And, again, just coming back to the fact that I'm constantly looking at doing women that are superheroes in their own way. Like even
right.
in Durgamati, it is a film that is extremely padded by all the action, horror, jump scares, conspiracy. But at the core